let's say for this trick, I hand the deck over to the spectator and they give it a mix. After they're done mixing the cards, I would take them back and instruct them to touch any card they would like. So let's say they touch this card. I'm not going to look at it, but here's your selection. So go ahead and remember this for me. Now, if the spectator wanted to, they could sign this, but they don't have to. After they're done remembering it, they would place the card back where they touched it, and I would say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a few piles here. One for you and one for me, okay? So there's my pile, and here's your pile. You can actually mix up your pile, but I want you to mix it up like this. And you can take as many cards from my pile as you want, mix those up, and place them down as well. So, let's say the spectator does this, and we go through the whole deck here. So now, after we're done going through the whole deck, I can show the spectator that their card should not be on top, and their card should not be on the bottom. But all I have to do is give it one snap, and we have the 4 of diamonds. Hopefully that was your card. If you would like to learn how to do this control, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I know this wasn't a trick, but this is actually a really nice control I saw on a million card tricks, and I haven't actually uploaded a card control video in a while, so I thought why not go ahead and upload a control. Now, in case you're wondering about the deck of cards I'm using, these are actually the Dead Hand playing cards by Xavier Spade. I will leave the deck review video down below, which I made of this deck, and I will also leave the shop for where you buy this deck at. So, let me really quick write down Dead Hands deck review and Dead Hands shop. Okay, so, like I mentioned, this is from A Million Card Tricks, so I'm going to leave his video down below and his channel teaching this. I also came up with a really cool any card at any number based off of this control, so I'm going to show you that as well. And the last thing I'm going to show you, because this is called the sloppy control, I'm going to show you 2 sloppy card tricks. So you're going to get a lot of basis out, or material out of today's video. So make sure you stick around for the whole thing. But here's how you're going to perform the sloppy control. You can hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can give it a shuffle. It doesn't matter. After they're done, they're going to select any card, and it doesn't matter if they touch it or they take it out, because either way, it's going to be returned back into the spread somewhere, preferably in the middle, but I will go over that when we get to that. So in this case, we have the 4 of hearts. Now, if the spectator wanted to, they could sign the card, and it's better if you don't look at it either, but if you want to, go ahead. So now, I'm going to place this somewhere in the middle. So 4 of hearts, and when I square up everything, I'm going to keep a pinky break, like this. So below this big packet is the 4 of hearts. So a few things I recommend. Number 1, you're going to have this massive break. So put your index finger right there on top, covering the break. Number 2, put your thumb across the middle here and push down. It's going to bevel out the break. And then number 3, just tilt down your hand and watch your angles, because you don't want them to see this break. But now you're all good. You're going to start off by making 2 piles. The first pile is going to be yours. The second will be the spectator. And you're going to use all the cards above the break. And what you want is about half and half. It doesn't have to be approximate. So, once you're ready, you can say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make 2 piles here. So, I'm going to have the first pile here. And as you see, I threw down about half of the cards, okay? And I have about half left over, give or take. And now I'm going to make the spectators pile, and you're just going to mix these up and throw them down above the break until you're done. So leaving the spectator selection right there. So now once you're done with the break, you can tell the spectator, okay, this is how I want you to shuffle the cards. You're going to peel off the top 3 cards, leaving them as they are, and put them to the bottom. So that moves the 4 third from the bottom. Okay, that's all you're going to do. And I'll go over that one more time, what it's supposed to look like. Let's say they touch the 4 and they return it. Here's the pattern. Okay, what we're going to do is first, I'm going to make 2 piles. And I'm going to want you to go ahead and mix up your cards, just so you know there's no way I could manipulate the outcome of the cards. And I want you to shuffle the cards like this. And that's all you really have to do. It's not very hard. Do it however you would like. But they're going to start throwing cards out, even from your pile. And you kind of want them to do it from your pile, because you're going to do a little work with your pile. It's not very much, though. Okay, so you can throw some from the top. It doesn't matter. But when you get near the bottom, just slow down. And just hope that there's enough cards from your pile for them to mess with. Okay, so when you get to the bottom of your pile, you're going to want to eyeball 4 cards from the bottom, okay? So right here I can see this is the 4th card. So I'm going to mix up the cards above it and throw them down. And now, with the remaining 4 cards, throw those on top. And that is the whole control. You can show the card isn't on top, and the card isn't on the bottom. But now, with a little snap, there is your card. So, that was the sloppy control. I hope you really like that one. I'm going to go through that one more time really quick. And then I'm going to show you the ACAAN I put together. So, the deck is shuffled, and then any card is touched and returned back. Preferably in the middle, as you saw. So let's say the 6 of hearts. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to keep a break. So now I'm going to start putting cards down for my first pile, okay? Keeping about half of the cards at the end. And then this will be the spectators pile. So here are your cards, and I want you to give these a mix up. And I want you to actually mix them up like this. And as you saw, after I was done with that break, I moved those top 3 cards to the bottom, just like that. So let's say they throw some down, and once you get near the bottom, just go very slow and be careful. You want to eyeball 4 cards. Right here is the 4th card, okay? So I'm going to shuffle the 3, put those down, and throw the rest on top. And now if you look, the card isn't on top, the card isn't on the bottom, but if I give it a little snap, there is the 6 of hearts. Okay, so now let's go over that ACAAN trick. I'm going to walk you through this the best I can, because I just put it together, and I don't want to mess it up. But I think this is pretty cool. So, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to do the sloppy control, okay? And you're going to want them to also name a number out loud. Now, I like having them name a number between 1 and 10. But if you're feeling bold, you can do 10 to 20, 10 to 25, whatever. Don't go any more than 30. I wouldn't even go more than 20, and you'll see why. So let's say they touch the 7 of diamonds. I'm going to return it and catch a break. So now you're going to start the whole sloppy control, which I'm not going to go over because I just did. Okay, so once you're done with your break, move these top 3 cards to the bottom. Here is where you're going to start doing the ACAAN trick in the guise of mixing up the cards, okay? You're going to want them to be focused on their pile. And let's say they name number 5. It doesn't matter. All you're going to do in your head is 5 minus 1. You know you have 4. So now, when you're going to do this ACAAN, you're going to continue mixing it up. And you know their card is 3rd from the bottom, okay? So, right here. So, in your head, you're going to count above the 3rd card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this card right here. I'm going to out-jog it just so you can see how this works. Mix up all the cards above it. And now when you get to that break card, put it down. So now they said 5, and it was the 7 of diamonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. I will be right back. Okay, so, as you can see, that came out on number 5, like they named. Let me go through that again. So they touch a card, and let's say they touch the 10 of spades. You're going to start with the sloppy shuffle, just like this. Okay, and now let's say we have a mess here. And let's say they name number 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9. So this is going to be a little harder. You're going to want to definitely slow down. But you see 3 right here. This is their card. So you're going to have to count 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep a break above. But it's just going to look like you're mixing up the cards. And if you do mix those up while at least the top portion, while doing your math at the bottom, if they're focused with their pile, it shouldn't really matter at all. You can get away with this quite easily, but don't make it look like you're actually counting card for card. Okay, so now they name 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10 of spades. Let me know how you like that trick, and let me get into the last 2 sloppy card tricks. So the first one is fairly popular. This is usually one of the first tricks I do whenever somebody asks to see a trick, and there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube for it. I might have uploaded this before, but if I didn't, here is the updated tutorials for both of these tricks. So here's the performance. The spectator is going to select a card, and they're going to remember it. I'm not going to look at it. If they want to, they can sign it, but then they would hand it back, and I say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix up your card somewhere into the deck, like this. Okay, and all you have to do is say yes or no. Is your card on top? I would assume they would say no. And I would say, is your card on the bottom? I would assume they would say no. And then I'll say, okay, I'm going to do something called the sloppy shuffle, like this, where I mix up cards face up and face down, just like this. And this actually creates a big mess. So we have face up to face down cards. We have face down to face up cards. And I could even find for you back and back cards. But I have a shuffle of my own. All you have to do is say your card. Let's say they name their card out loud right now. I snap my fingers and I show them the Jack of Spades. I hope that was your card, but if you want to learn how to do this, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so that was the sloppy card trick, and I actually do this a tad different than how I originally learned it. But I'm going to teach you the original way too. So the main thing you want to do is control any card you want, or they choose, to the bottom of the deck. So I'm not going to go over card controls for the bottom, because I have a whole bunch of tutorials already, but I will show you what I did, and this does control the card to the bottom, and give a little convincer that their card isn't on the bottom. So you're going to have a card selected, let's say the 7 of diamonds, and all I do is a milk shuffle for the overhand shuffle. And I made a video on the overhand shuffle already, so I will leave that down below. But here's what it looks like real quick face up. I leave the card on face up, and when I come over to shuffle, I peel off the top and bottom card like this, okay? So my 3 fingers are on top, thumbs on the bottom, index finger is on the side. I come over, squeeze with some pressure, and just pull down those 2 cards. And now, I can really shuffle these as much as I want to, moving this card second from the bottom. Now, an extra convincer I did was I started shuffling from the face, or from the top here, and then all the cards shuffled into my hand. I took my fingers and I pushed them forward. I put these cards at the back, okay? Leaving theirs second from the bottom. I'll go over that one more time. Okay, so the cards on top. You peel off the top 2. You can shuffle these. And then you can shuffle from the top about half. And then you push these forward and you throw those on top. There is the 7. Now let me do that in real time, just so you can see how this looks. So I'm going to take your card, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it somewhere into the deck here, and really lose it. And now the card is second from the bottom. In this case, it was third. Second from the bottom, one more time. Here's the 7. And right there. Now, if you want to, you could do false cuts, false shuffles. It doesn't matter. But now you're going to want to get this card actually on the bottom. So all I do is say, I'm going to show you the top and bottom card. All you have to do is say if either of those is your card, okay? So I show them the top. They're going to say no. And then I turn the whole deck, they're going to say no. I turn this back down, I put their card in the middle. Because if they say no when I move it, well now there's their card and you don't want to flash that. So it would be no and then no. And now it's on the bottom, but feel free to get their card on the bottom any way you choose to. Now you're going to do the sloppy shuffle. And I like to hold this in like a mechanic's grip in a way. I think this is mechanic's grip. Pinky on the bottom, index on top, middle ring on the side, thumb on the other side. You're going to push over some cards into your hand. 4, 5, 6. Square these up into a group and turn your hand over. Push off some more cards. Clip those with your thumb and then turn your whole hand. Push. And then clip and turn over, push, clip, turn, just like this. And talk about how this is the sloppy shuffle somehow. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to want to put this on top of one of the packets. So usually I turn my hand and put it on top. But if you leave your hand this way and put it on top, make sure you continue the trick this way. Hopefully that made sense. You can go back and watch that. But now you have this mess. So you have their card face down on top, you have face up cards, and you have face down cards. Now, this is the little convincer. You're going to cut about half from the top half, and you can show we have face up to face down. Cut half from the bottom half, we have face down to face up, and now you're going to have a break here. And this break is where the face down cards, or the face up cards, meet the face down cards, okay? So you're going to have two card backs, and you show we have back to back. And I do this little gesture, and this is important because the top half, you know, has their card, and you're going to want to turn this half all the way over. Okay, so I show this, and then when I come back, my index finger pulls in the packet towards myself, and I put these on top, and that does the trick. They name their card, you snap your fingers, and you have the 7 of diamonds. So, I'm going to go through that one more time, but it's actually going to be for the Sloppy Shuffle V2 by A Million Card Tricks. So basically, you can get more than one card selected and then done with the sloppy trick, if that made sense. So let me show you real quick what this might look like. So the deck can be shuffled, and you're going to have two cards named. So let's say we have the Ace of Diamonds here named, and let's say we have here the Jack of Hearts named. So you could have named any one of these cards, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do the sloppy shuffle here. So face up and face down cards, just like this, till we get to the end. And now all this does is make face up to face down. This makes face down to face up. And this makes even back to back. But I want you to say stop as I riffle down. Right there. Okay. You take that card, and all I have to do is snap my fingers and show you one card in the middle is the Jack of Hearts, and this card you said stop at is the 10 of Hearts, not the card. Okay, so let me actually walk you through this instead of performing it again, instead of embarrassing myself. But this is actually quite simple here, so I don't know what happened there. But here's all you're going to want to do. You're going to want two cards controlled to the bottom of the deck. So all I did was the call, okay? So let's say we have the Queen of Hearts. I'm going to leave the video for the call down below. But basically you push over and they say stop at a card. Let's say the Queen of Hearts. The card on top of it's going to line up, so making it a double. You're going to pinch it with your thumb. Your fingers on the back are going to pull it out. You're going to hear it pop off, and now you continue spreading. Let's say to the Ace of Spades now. So now you're going to do the same thing. Line up the card on top of it, the 2, making it a double. Pinch on the 2, pull back on the Ace. It's gonna pop off, okay? Make sure you do the call better than me. But now you're gonna spread all the way to the top. And now those two cards are controlled to the top. And then I just did an overhand shuffle, moving them to the bottom. But move these to the bottom any way you know how. After this, you're gonna do the sloppy shuffle, okay? And once you get to the end, all you're going to do is move these two cards on top. Now keep in mind, I do this different than A Million Card Tricks, okay? So it's not going to be exactly how he does it. So now you're going to want to find that natural break of the two face down halves, okay? And all I do is I keep a break right there, and I peel out this top half while my thumb is on this top card. And now it's going to go right there. I keep a break, and I do a riffle force. They say stop, making sure not to flash these. You're going to just put that down. In this half, you turn over in your hand. That's the queen, and that is the ace of spades. Let me go over that one more time. If you want to see how Million Card Tricks does it, check out his video down below. But you're going to have two cards controlled to the bottom. So let's say the 5 of clubs and the jack of spades. After this, do your sloppy shuffle. So you're going to be in this position. 2 face down cards, a face up half and a face down half. You're going to find the natural break right here. Keep a break above it. And your thumb's going to push down on top while you slide this half out. And now you can do a riffle force. So they say stop. You throw that down. The rest of the cards in your hand get turned over. And now you're good. The jack is there. And the 5 is there. So that was today's video. I don't know what happened with the trick, but I was able to teach it right, so that's something. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like that ACAAN trick, what I should keep, what I should get rid of, what I should add, all of that. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what else you would like to see on the channel. And I think that's everything. I will see you guys next time with a new video. Bye.